watching All Hoops and Happenings.
Thank you. All right, here we are. Hold on, let me get the screen here. Let's go. Where are we? Here we go. Here we are. All Hoops and Happenings, special edition. A quick chat after Nick from Millburn and I had a great time watching the women play last night. It's more of a recording. We don't expect a live audience, but we just want to get it up there. Also, Nick, I am going to have I believe Monday afternoon, I'm scheduled to have the Coach Boz show, which will do a full season preview. Obviously, talk about some of the new players. But Nick, what'd you think last night? I mean, they won by 50. Of course, the D2 school, but they really showed their mettle, I believe, in that first quarter with the starting five out there. So, what'd you think?
Yeah, so first, and then Monday night, we're going to try a post-game show, Nick from Millburn post-game show, where we're going to take some individual people and we'll talk about the game on Monday night. And this is kind of a post-game show, but, a day later. And, the final score was last night that Seton Hall played Jefferson from Philadelphia. And, it was 92-42, a 50-point win. And while it was expected, I got to tell you, I was, and again, take it with a grain of salt. It was Jefferson, Division II team. But there were a lot of question marks coming in. We lost Faith Masonis, who some people, was a key ingredient to our team last year, on the court and off the court. And I was so impressed last night by the play of Jordana Cadio. Unreal in 19 minutes. What'd you have, Bobby? 25 points?
25 points, I believe, yes.
Yes, she was 10 to 12 from the field, 4 to 4 from three-point line, plus minus of 28. And
wow, 28 to plus minus?
Plus minus of 28. And Jada Eads had a plus minus of 34.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the starting lineup was Messiah Hunter, Shaylin Pickney. The backcourt that Tony says is, best backcourt in the Big East. Jada Eads, Savannah Cadio, or Savannah Catalan, and Jordana Cadio, started and played the least of those starting five. And again, led all scorers with 25 points. I was impressed with her game. I'll tell you. What did you think about her, Bobby?
Oh, yeah. She definitely reminded me a bit of Faith Masonis on her play. She's going to be that graduate senior who's going to come in and, do her thing as we expected. No, unexpected. And I think the biggest takeaway, Nick, from last night was talking to Jason Garrett, who's the PA announcer after the game, right? Him saying that the other girl who didn't even play last night could even be better than Cadio.
I've been watching Tony's teams since he got here, and again, 40-point win against Jefferson. You got to put it in its proper perspectives, but they looked really good. I thought there was a lot of trapping and translated in a lot of transition points, but again, they didn't run up the score. They didn't trap inappropriately. They didn't press inappropriately. But when they did, it looked really good. And the chemistry, we knew we were going to have strong backcourt play with Eads and Catalan. But we didn't know what we were going to get up front from Cadio. And we saw it last night. And the fact that the three of them played really well together, along with the forward duo of Messiah Hunter and Shaylin Pinkney, this is probably and again, preface everything, it's still early, but potential-wise, and our own Nicole Gizzi said 25 wins out of this team, and, that's a possibility because they looked really sharp. Can't emphasize that enough last night. And I thought Savannah Catalan shot 5 for 10. I thought, she let the game come to her. She wasn't pressing, 12 points, right, Bobby? But she was just so professional about it.
A professional, and she was doing her thing. She was getting steals. She was taking charges. which is a huge part of her game. And she showed it from the first scrimmage, only scrimmage. Like I said, you got to preface it that this was a D2 school from Philadelphia. I believe they play them almost every year,
right,
as a precursor to the season. And it's not Big East play, but you saw how deep potentially Coach Boz's bench could be in this game. And again, there are probably a lady or two who didn't even play yet, right? For whatever reason, and that's only to add to the potential for this season. I mean, I'm excited.
Well, you touched on it. The Florida State transfer, Mariana Valenzuela, tallest player on the team, 6'2". She didn't suit up last night.
No.
So, and she's going to get minutes, right? And she's going to be solid. So just put that into the puzzle, because I was talking to some people too, and they said she wasn't in game shape yet. So they're just, because she's only been playing around for like 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I believe when we had the media day a couple of weeks ago, it was mentioned that she was late in getting into camp, to the preseason camp to get ready for the season. So that's probably why she's not ready yet. But yeah, you almost again, as we've noticed for the past several years with Coach Boz's bench, there always seems to be 3 or 4 players that don't get off the bench, and they are deep this year. And hopefully, if we do, I hope not, but if we do happen to sustain an injury, I think we have the depth this year to hopefully mask it until that player comes back.
Yeah, and last night, Messiah Hunter in 21 minutes, 4 for 8 from the field, 4 rebounds, 8 points. Shaylin Pinckney only took 5 shots, didn't hit any, but she had 6 assists. So she led our team in assists from the forward position. So that means that there was good ball movement. And Codio led the team with 5 steals. So that means there were defense, steals, and then transition. So 25 points and 5 steals. Yeah, a good performance by Jordana Codio. And then who impressed me, off the bench. She didn't have a great shooting night, but you could see that it's there. And I envision her as being the third guard, first guard off the bench. Zariah Bishop in 18 minutes shot 3 for 10, 8 total points, and also chipped in, 3 assists. So yeah, I love her game. And the shots weren't falling. She's a freshman, but she didn't play like a freshman last night at all. Very aggressive. What do you think, Bob?
No, same thing. A lot of the women also were very active on both sides of the court. They're getting a steal on one side, and they're running down and getting the putback, or vice versa. They're taking a shot, maybe a layup, missed a layup, and they're speeding down the court to get back on defense. So yeah, again, it's so much excitement for the season, for this team this year. And you just saw it last night. And I tell you, it was pretty cool. Now you're gonna experience this next week in a few weeks. You experience this, but it was kind of cool to, just kind of sit back and enjoy the game, where you can actually cheer and clap a little bit. So you'll see that more, when they get back from California, when you have your first experience on press row. But man, it was good to actually sit back and watch and observe. And yeah, it's just wow. I mean, the folks are in for a treat this year. Buy those season tickets; they're not expensive. Come out and support this team, because they're going to go places. They're going to go places.
You've been following him, I mean, I guess for Boz's whole tenure too. What is this one of his best teams that you've seen? Because for me, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he always had he had the Lauren Park Lane years, where she was a speedy, very efficient, high-scoring point guard, right? But not the biggest frame, right? Then you had the I'm gonna forget their names off the top of my head. Sydney, I forgot her name or last name, but she was like 6'4".
Right.
So they had the big ladies in there who are centers, but I think now you have the 6'2", 6'1", 6'2" centers, or in the 5 position, or even the power 4 position, that can run. The one thing about some of the bigger fives they had in the past, where they were great shooters, coming from great programs as they transferred in for their final year or two in South Orange. But now you're getting these all-around players who are going to just do everything the way Coach Boz wants to, and can, run down the court pretty steadily. Now,
yeah, I thought Jordana ran the court really well. I was impressed. There was one play I pointed out to you that she was all the way on the other end of the court, ran back, and almost, caused someone to misdirect the shot. And that's just good instincts, right? And didn't get called for a foul. And that's just, she's very athletic. We say that she's going to replace Faith. Faith was banged up last year. Remember, Faith had some ankle and she wasn't that mobile near the end of the year. And last night, if anything, Jordana was very mobile.
Now, if you remember, I think it was Jason Gret who said it to us after the game. Jordana Codio only played only averaged a point or two a minute in Texas, right? So She's coming here now and going to be that like you said, possible replacement for Faith. But like you said, Faith played a full 4 years at Maryland and really came back for her last year to come home and play in front of her family. And you saw last year, the seeds were planted with Faith Masonis, her mom, who both played at UConn, and they're both involved with a major program within New Jersey for girls basketball. The seeds bear fruit in a couple of years as these girls, if 3, 4, 5 of them grow into be D1 college women's college basketball players, maybe their experience as younger girls that want to come back to South Orange and play for Coach Boz and for Seton Hall. So my point is that Faith played 4 years as a star, as a main player at Maryland.
Right.
Came to us, was instantly one of our better players, our best player, but she had some issues. End of the season last year, there were games that she could barely run up.
She was hurting. You could see she was in pain. She was hurting. She was a trooper. She fought it out last year. Yeah.
So now, Codio, and we'll see what Venezuela, right? What's the other girl from Florida State?
Mariana Valenzuela. From Mexico via Florida State.
And what about the girl Rust, who I didn't even remember at all? She surprised me. Coach has been preaching all along, but
Cam Rust, 6'1". I thought she was solid off the bench.
Yeah,
added some. I thought she did some. Played some great defense.
Defense, and she can score too and distribute the ball. Shaylin Pinckney, again, she's like a point forward out there. So,
well, it's funny you said that. Rust was our leading rebounder, tied with 6 rebounds with Savannah Jones. More depth off the bench with Savannah Jones playing 18 minutes.
Yeah, so it's just wow. I mean, again, you got to support this team. Come out to Walsh. We're going to be a lot more involved with the team and doing pre-games, post-games for both programs, actually. But, as Coach Shaw rebuilds and I think we're going to surprise this year a little bit. I don't think we're going to be in the basement come into the season like everybody predicts we are. Coach Boz has really taken this team to a different level, and you have a great mix there of upperclassmen and some freshmen and sophomores. Savannah Catalan is only a junior.
I know.
Jada Eads is only a sophomore, and they're first-team Big East preseason backcourt. So, they love playing for Coach Boz. They love being, Lady Pirates, and let's go. Let's support this team and get out there and watch these games. Somebody mentioned, I don't know if you noticed on the Facebook page that, where can I watch ESPN Plus? I'll tell you, I responded to somebody on the board. I believe, I don't know what phone carrier you have. I got Verizon. I get the ESPN Plus bundle with Disney and Hulu. It's like $10 a month, $11 a month.
Oh, I have that same bundle. Oh, it's great, and especially now that I had not to get into a streaming service, but I had YouTube, and YouTube just lost Disney. So YouTube lost ESPN and Channel 7. So now I'm picking that up by having the ESPN Plus.
And talking to our guy Eli last night, I saw him after the game. We're both walking to our cars together. Now that ESPN Plus is kind of one of our main providers for streaming for the games for the women, they're getting better equipment in there as well. Now, I pointed out to you last night how some of the equipment they're using are better because ESPN has all that money, right? So they're bringing just to make the broadcast better. And like I said, if you're just an entertainment person like I am, I'm a cord cutter. That's one of the packages they have is that Disney bundle where you get ESPN Plus, and you get to watch a lot of these games. And
I'm looking forward to it. And I think it's great, being on ESPN Plus with the Pirates because it gives the kids hands-on, like Eli had hands-on experience last night. He was filming a game for ESPN Plus.
And then he rotated in the second half and was doing the review,
whatever in the back room, whatever.
Yeah. The rewind when they show the updates or whatnot, or they show I'm drawing a blank right now. But great experience, and I'm excited, Nick. We also have you there, with Bill, Mr. Hathaway will be joining us a lot of games. We have a few listeners. If you have any questions for us, we're gonna probably go off in a few minutes. Again, we just want to go on and discuss and really build the hype up for this team because it's warranted.
Yeah, and I think it's great that PSN, Pirate Sports Network, is involved with this with ESPN Plus. I think it's a great partnership. But I want to say this, and I'm not a NILologist, captologist, numerologist, any of that stuff. But the fact that we were able to retain a Big East quality backcourt and come back is key. And it's kind of the same thing. We lost Kadari Richmond, right? But here we got our two best players back, so there's continuity. And then you go out and you sign Codio from Texas, who looked amazing last night. Again, preface it, only one game. And then you get Valenzuela from Florida State. And then you get a freshman, Zahar Bishop, who I'm very high on. And, our recruiting and our getting our players, a procurement of talent on the women's side, so far, it looks amazing. I mean, it's early, but when you can retain, in this day and age, when you can retain a Big East backcourt and neither of them jump and they come back, that says a lot about the program, and that says a lot about the coach. You agree?
I agree. Think about it. I mentioned this to if you noticed our little powwow at Big East Media Day last week. I posted last week, a little with all the graphics and stuff. I told Coach, this is probably your first team you've had that with no Jersey girls on it. So they are out. I mean, these girls are coming from all over the country to little old South Orange to play for this program. That says volumes right there.
And here's the thing, and to play for Tony. So and we saw Tony after the NIT loss last year, and the poor man looked exhausted. And I was worried about him because now that season's over, but he doesn't get a break, the poor guy, because now he has to go into the NIL portal and now be GM and do, I don't know exactly how they do it, whose task is what, but they won, they won the offseason as far as I'm concerned. They came out successful, and that will translate. And when you look at the Big East, right, UConn is a given. UConn's UConn. If we could ever split with them, that's a plus. But the goal this year, and you, Jason Garrett, and I were talking about it, we got to beat Creighton, right?
Creighton.
And Jason said in his tenure as the PA guy, only one win at home over Creighton. We got to beat Creighton at home this year. Now, they lost their core.
Yeah.
I don't know who they picked up in the portal, how they're strong or not. But if we could come in second and leap jump Creighton, that would be amazing. And that's our shot at the NCAA. You agree, Bob?
Yes, absolutely. And as we know, we had one first place vote for the Big East preseason rankings, and who was that from?
The worst kept secret, right?
Oriyama, who could have easily had picked Creighton, right?
Yeah,
right. He could have picked Creighton, but I think he realizes what the ladies have here in in South Orange. And I got to see the schedule. I don't have it in front of me. You have it in front of you?
No.
Yeah, because I'm just curious. When do we
Or
play?
Actually, I do. I do have the schedule. I do.
As a matter of fact, I remember looking at it briefly. I think they're almost there's a week early in the season and a week later in the season where they play Creighton and UConn back to back, or very close together.
They are at Creighton. Wow, and it starts early, right? The Big East schedule at Nova December 19th, then at Creighton December 22nd. Xavier at home Sunday, December 28th, and then New Year's Eve, G-Town at home, December 31st, and then at Creighton Saturday, January 3rd. So you're playing. January 3rd is at Connecticut. So you have Connecticut and Creighton. By January 3rd, you would have played both of them. So we'll know a lot by then. But unfortunately, they're both road games.
Yeah, and then we come back and play them at home later in the season.
We got UConn at home Sunday, January 25th, which will be a tough ticket, and then Sunday, February 1st, Creighton at home, and that
kind of back to back.
Could be the biggest game of the year.
Yes. Other quick notes, Nick. I don't know if you noticed this real quick. By the way, one more woman I want to really highlight. Coach has said to us a few times, Jacayla Kraft. What's up, buddy? He had said Jacayla Kraft got a lot better, and she showed that too last night.
Kayla Kraft. I thought Kayla played well last night. 3 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 from the line. Chipped in. Had 5 rebounds. I was impressed by again, and that goes to the depth again, Bobby. Right? She had 9. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had 9 total points. Very balanced scoring. Besides Codio last night with 25, and then Savannah with 12, and Rust had 9, Kraft had 9, Messiah Hunter had 8. Turnovers. We scored 41 points in transition. 41 points off of turnovers. That's amazing.
18-second chance, 22 fast breaks, and 36 off the bench.
36 bench points. When does that happen?
Doesn't.
I mean,
and like I mentioned you last night. Now I mentioned you last night as well, Nick. The offset of having that deep bench. The downside is that a lot of these ladies aren't going to play a lot, but they should be good enough to overwhelm a lot of the weaker teams in the Big East, so that those ladies do get the experience and to get some run, during those games. That hopefully, there's not any dissension, because they're so deep.
I mean, it's hard
I got to say before,
it's hard to have a 50-point lead against anyone, no matter the division.
Yeah.
I mean, 50-point lead against anyone is insane.
And let's be honest, it could have been more, right? We kind of stopped the press, stopped the trap. It could have been like we did not run up the score in any way, shape, or form. Tony was not mean. He was not mean. He was not mean like certain coaches.
I mean, they had some good players. Like, I don't know where they rank among Division II, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're pretty high. I mean, they definitely have some good players. So,
I mean, again, they got to think they're coming up. Like you said, Nick Jr. They're coming up to play us every year in a scrimmage game, so they must be getting something out of it, right? Besides maybe a little check to help the program, but maybe it's a barometer for them to see how they're going to compete in D2.
Oh yeah,
because we are.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and you could tell that it was a good relationship. There's a relationship, and they come up every year, and yeah. No, it was a good night, and I'm encouraged, and I am like Bobby said, season. I don't need the season tickets are not expensive, guys. You get your seasons, you guarantee. And here's the good news: you get your seasons, you're guaranteed for a ticket to the UConn game and the Creighton game. Because if you were just to buy those tickets on the secondary market, it might be more than the cost of the entire season ticket.
And if you have something to do those nights, you're gonna make your money off. You're gonna make your money back anyway.
Yeah, and you also the new thing is you give a donation to Pirate Blue, which I think everyone should donate to Pirate Blue, because now it goes to revenue sharing, which can help the procurement of talent. So it's it's win-win. But yeah, again, and if nothing else, they look like they're going to be a very fun team to watch.
Yes, definitely. Before we head off for the air, Couple of quick notes. I noticed after our show on Tuesday. Again, I'm a big CBS sports guy. I read them a lot. I enjoy them. I enjoy their program, their content and whatnot. They did a top 25 coaches in NCAA men's basketball. Guess who's on top?
Men's, not Patino.
Men's. No.
Who?
Danny Hurley.
We love Danny Hurley.
And if I'm not mistaken, on that list, Danny Hurley.
Patino was up there.
Patino
was up there.
Patino wasn't too far behind. Yeah. And then here's the shocker. They had Craig McDermott on there from Creighton. And in their little synopsis of why they picked him where he picked him, whoever wrote the article thinks that this is his last year at Creighton, that he's ready to retire. Apparently, they brought back the head coach from High Point, right, which has a lot of money. I think somebody joked and said, well, they're a micro major, High Point. But there's a program with a lot of money in them. So supposedly they brought back, I guess their head coach was part of his staff in the past. So they're thinking he's the coach in waiting for McDermott if he retires.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of McDermott, but I'll give him his due. Nah. He's been very successful in the Big East, and I thought part of it was when he first came in, he had his son, which he's going to recruit his son. But yeah, he's a good coach. He's a very good coach. Very solid. His teams are always very solid fundamentally.
Yeah, but another thing I think I mentioned. Trying to think what I was going to say. Yeah, it was the coaches, and then I think it was some of the players. Oh, top 100 players in men's college basketball. I believe all starting five, if not four of the five of UConn are on there. So, like I said a million times, who's our arch enemy really? St. John's.
Yeah.
So, as our team rebuilds this year, and hopefully we scrap and play hard, and maybe pull a 500 season and get to NIT, and maybe have a little fun there. I'm going to be very intently watching our guy, Danny Hurley, our fellow alum, Danny Hurley, hopefully put some reins on that monstrosity that's over in Queens.
I want UConn to sweep St. I want us to sweep St. John's, but I want UConn to sweep St. John's 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And Danny's a great, Danny's such a great story because of his wife. When you watch that 60 Minutes piece, yin and yang and a balance. It was just such, I encourage everyone to watch it. She's like, the game's over. Don't bring any of that stuff into my house. It's over. We don't talk basketball. Just she balances him because he's all wound up. I mean, if, he won the NCAA tournament 2 years in a row and then was all upset. You're not going to win it 3 years in a, how many people even win it 1 year, right? Great coaches never win the NCAA tournament. And this guy won it twice in a row. So, yeah, he's a tremendous coach.
Another thing I want to look out for next year, which should be interesting for the Big East, I believe, again, in this poll of coaches and whatnot. Oh, no, I think it was the one where, the best college program in each state, where obviously I posted that they picked Rutgers over us. In Arizona, they picked Arizona over Arizona State. And in the blurb, it said, Bobby Hurley will probably not be back after the season in Arizona State, which makes you wonder, will another Big East program bring the other Hurley brother into the fold?
That's a great point. The Big East has a really solid group of coaches right now. Really. And what did Nicole Gizzy post? Georgetown beat somebody in a scrimmage?
Oh, I guess it was a publicized scrimmage, preseason game where it looks like Georgetown walloped Kentucky.
Yeah, I know.
Oh boy,
Nicole overreacted a little bit. The Big East, Nicole, let's just take it all.
Cooley,
yeah, we love Nicole.
That Cooley, baby.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, any final thoughts?
No, I think this was great. I think this is a great concept. I think we need to do it more. It was great. It was just great watching a game with you last night and getting your insights and sharing our insights. And, as everything was going on, it was good. We missed Bill Hathaway, but hopefully it's election season. So I'm sure Bill was at an event somewhere, the unofficial mayor of Orange.
Yeah, like I said, I've done everything with basketball. I played, refereed, I coached. Now I broadcast it. Now I analyze it. So, it's a fun sport. And like I said, I'm always gonna have that my freshman year burned in my brain. Where I don't know how many more years I have in this earth, but I don't know. I hope we got at least one more shot at having a team that can do something.
Let me ask you one.
We
Let
always
me ask
have
you one
redemption.
question, because you said
Yeah.
you're a coach. Do you watch the? And I coached a lot too. Do you watch the game as a coach, or do you watch it as a fan?
I would say it's a little of all three: coach,
And
fan,
media, and media,
analyst.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
media.
Because there's definitely a difference when you're looking at a game. Yeah.
Let me tell you real quick before we go. This is why I'll tell you the exact reason why I was never a Kevin Willard fan. Okay, you might remember this. There was when he was coaching. This is early on in his tenure. I believe we were playing a very highly ranked Louisville team. Okay, that came down to the wire. In the Prue Center, and you've coached, right? So it came down. We lost that game by maybe a bucket or two. It was real close. And again, I'm not sure the year, but I know it was Louisville. They came in. They were highly rated. We were primed for the upset. And I asked him during the presser. I go, I think we were up, and it was an inbounds pass. They're inbounding the ball. Whatever happened, guy scored. I think that won the game for them. Could be a little bit off, but here's the reason I'm mentioning this. I asked Coach Willard during the presser, Coach, you got this 7'4" guy at the end of the bench. I think it was Romero Gill when he had 1 year and didn't do much.
Yeah.
Right? Did you ever think of putting him just for that one moment to block the inbounds, put his hands up in front of the and he made me feel like I didn't know what I was talking about. Right? Not even 2-3 games later, who's now blocking the inbounds pass? Romero Gill. I'm like, come on, man. Give me I mentioned that 2 weeks ago to you. And you made me feel like I got to know what I was talking about.
I think the thing with Kevin, and look, I was a Kevin fan. I love Kevin. But I think the one criticism of him is Kevin at those press conferences, he's the opposite of Bill Belichick to a fault. He's too honest. You know what I mean? Like you questioned him and he got upset because it was probably in the back of his mind that he should have done it, and he got the fence, right? Whereas anyone else would have kind of not answered the question. So from my career in politics, you don't answer the question they ask you. You answer the question you want to answer, right? So exactly. Right. How many times have people done that to you? You ask them a question and they talk for 5 minutes and they never answer your question.
Never answer the question, yeah.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Michael Enzi was the one who ended up trying to block the inbounds pass, and he was 6'10" himself, right?
Right, Mike.
But he's not 7'4" with those long arms that Romero had, who ended up, a season later, ended up being, defensive player of the year, right? Defensive player of the year for the Big East, because he did everything at that point. I mean, you didn't see that a year before that?
Well, in fairness, though, they took Romero Gill out of nothing, and they developed him, right? I don't even know what school he went to. I think that was a Fred Hill recruit. I think, not 100% sure. Might have been one of the last recruit, or no, not sure.
By the way, real quick, before we end them, maybe we'll see what Paul's schedule looks like. Maybe we'll try to do a little pregame show before Monday. Because I see somebody posted their pregame show on, who.
Oh, what do you mean? Pregame show Sunday night, maybe? Yeah. Or early Sunday night or Monday, and then Monday we'll do the post game show. And I was thinking the concept of the post game show is, and you and I, will be on it, and whoever else. But then you get people on like Jeff Kovacs, real quick, like kind of a call-in show. But we'll send them the link. They get on, they speak their spiel, and then we just have a whole bunch of different people give their thoughts of the game. I think that'll be interesting. And then the next morning when people wake up, they could just go on and watch it if they missed the game and see what, whatever it's worth, what we think.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, my point was, it looks like God's will is out on Monday.
Isn't that what we heard last night? That God's will is out, that Pat Sumanick is out, and who was the third? Paul's guy, Josh Rivera.
we have so many new players there. Like both teams, like we were at the beefsteak last week, and they started introducing the players. I had to do a double take on at least 3 players on each team. Like, what? They got that? Who's that? Yeah, there's so many new players out there. But my point is, maybe my guy Asane will get some run.
He knew you, Bobby. He knew you last night. He walked by and he didn't say hello to me. No, he saw you and he nodded and said hello to you. So he knows you, Bobby. He knows you're president of the next Romero
Gill blocking inbound passes on important defensive.
He knew exactly who Blackjack was. And let me say this: wasn't it great watching? Probably, maybe 80% of the men's team and Coach Shaw and Coach Lynch at the game last night rooting on the women. Because that's how you build a program, right? Everybody roots for everyone. Yep. And if I get a chance, I mean, I know it's Halloween. I might go to volleyball. I mean, got to spread that support, got to spread that support around.
Hey, if we can find the interest and the people who do it, we should cover every sport there, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, not me, but if someone whoever's
out there. No, not you. I'm saying we can find the content. We can definitely do more with the what we have here.
And let me say this: Surge Sports, guys. Surge Sports is Bobby's brainchild. It is amazing. It gives us this opportunity. We're pretty much exclusive on the Facebook page. But it's Surge Sports is the impetus behind all of this. So whatever you have to do, join Surge Sports because it's up and coming, totally up and coming, and it's Bobby's brainchild. And Bobby, you do a great job with it. And if it wasn't for Surge Sports and you, we wouldn't be doing this right now.
And I just got some little stuff I'm not gonna make public yet, but it looks like I'll be not returning to too much longer where I've been employed at. So that means I'll be here a whole lot more. And Surge Plus is right around the corner. That's going to be a subscription service for programs and teams and movies and comedy shows, concerts, to have kind of like a box office type thing where, for example, I do St. Mary Sports, St. Mary Rutherford. I think once it gets approved, which it should be, there might be a $7.99 subscription per month, right? But at least half, if not 60% of that money is going to go to the school. So a school like that, instead of paying me to live stream like they've been doing, which I'm very grateful for, don't get me wrong, plus teaching Eli and Jack and a few other guys throughout the years, it gets them a chance to make money.
Right.
So
right.
I think it's a win-win situation. You could be a low-level pro team, a semi-pro team, pro-am team, all different sports. So, between the live stuff we already do on Surge and the stuff that I think will be a game changer for a lot of programs that don't have a major budget. Have the parents and the fans and the whatnot support them, and and they're getting money back, which it's going to help these smaller schools and smaller program, so I'm excited for it.
Oh no, it's a win-win. It's a great thing. It's a great thing that you're doing it. And again, you're not doing it for the money. That money would be nice, but you're doing it for a labor of love, and you're doing it for the right reason.
Well,
and the way you mentored Eli, and the way you were so proud of Eli, I saw it. You were the proud papa last night. You were bursting.
Yeah, I got post.
It was great.
I got to post that picture. I've got to post it before. But yeah, right now it's Friday afternoon. I'm, big into fantasy football. There's been some injuries to my players today. Who's out? Who's on injured reserve? So I'm very much into it, and I'm looking to really, now make this, a thing. Like I always said, this could be the next Barstool, and with your help and your enthusiasm to what we're doing, what I'm doing is really, fueling what could be something great. And like I said, we got, as we mentioned, we discussed it last night, whole hoops and happenings with our host of characters, right?
Yeah.
Just makes it, it's just to me, it's pure, it's real sports talk with an entertainment, bent to it, and I think it's awesome.
Everybody brings something different to it, and nobody's shy. Everyone's a character, so it's I like the word character. It's good.
Yep. Any plans for Halloween besides you got the candy ready over there?
Well, I have candy upstairs. I saw Nick ran to the store and got some candy, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So I think after this, I'm going to run around. I'm going to run to CVS and get some more, and then hopefully we'll get some kids.
Yeah, I have a DJ gig in the city tonight. My bar that I've first time in the city, right next to Dangerfields on First Ave. So I'm gonna have to get ready with that and maybe get some dinner, load up my car because I start at 9 o'clock.
Give it a plug. Give your DJ gig a plug.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at an Irish bar called Hendrickson's on First Avenue. Again, it's right next to or a door or two down from Dangerfields on First Avenue.
Okay,
pretty cool because it's on the edge of the city, so you get in and out pretty quickly.
Right.
Without having to be in the Midtown where you have to
right deal with all the Midtown stuff. Yeah.
So my first time there. I usually don't publicize my first time at a new venue. You never know something. I want to exceed expectations, not like I want to overwhelm, not underwhelm. So I make it low key, and if I'm there once a month, you'll see a lot more postings about it, and I'm looking forward to it. Halloween in the city, and let's see what happens.
Are you dressing up for that?
Nah, I'm too old. I'm too old to dress up. I'm too old. I'm not gonna find any costumes. Kudos to Paul Testafan for having a little costume ready for on Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, my guy. Well, it was a great show. Look, 45 minutes. We could have got another hour if we had to.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great, and like you said, get Surge Sports, and you gotta get me that hat. Because my son will test my chops if I go with credentials and I'm wearing a Seton Hall hat. I will never hear the end of it.
You can only wear it at the women's games. Yeah, you can't wear it at you can wear it to the men's game if you're.
No, I can wear it to the men's game. I cannot wear the hat to the women's game because Sweeney's credentialing me. So yeah.
No, you can wear it.
You think?
You can't wear Seton Hall hats.
Right. No, I can wear the Surge Sports hat. I can't wear the Seton Hall hat to the women's game. Right.
Yeah, you can wear the Surge hat, which is on right here.
Yeah, and yeah, so you got to get me a Surge hat. Got to promote.
It's definitely on the agenda. All right, my friend. Have a great weekend.
You, Bob. Great time.
We'll be communicating the whole time and getting ready for tip-off Monday, men's, Tuesday for the women's, and then it's basketball season.
Yep.
We're off. Go Pirates. We'll see you next time. Hall Hoops and Happenings live from. Good to be back in my studio again.
Yeah.
Nick,